Well, Renault gave us a preview of their newest product, the Triber, a couple of months ago, and I think it's a classic textbook example of a tailor-made car for India. But is it any good to drive, or for that matter, is it any good to put your money on? Well, let's dig deeper.
Renault is not calling Triber an MPV. The fact of the matter is that the car will compete in the MPV segment. And one thing that MPVs are not famous about is the way they are designed. The Triber tries to drift away from the traditional MPV design of being a stretched, boxy machine to a sub 4 meter Kwid inspired MPV with an SUV touch. There's a lot of chrome treatment and elements like body cladding, large wheel arches, roof rails and skid plates add to the rugged look. Overall, the Triber is not a very attractive car but looks proportionate and beefy. The Triber has a very unique cabin unlike any of the cars in India, which is a bit cluttered but adds to the purpose. There is a dual tone theme throughout the cabin with interesting use of fabric on doors. At the center of the dashboard is an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system that is very basic but effective. You also get an eco score to understand driving style. There's a bit of lag in using the touch, but you will get used to it. The toggle switches are a good touch. The instrument cluster is, however, what keeps you glued. It has a very nicely designed layout which is easy to read.
Now, one of the biggest highlight of the Renault Triber is the modular cabin, which means there is a third row of seating that can be removed to liberate at least 625 litre of boot space or can be added to seat additional 2 people.
Now the whole idea behind the Triber was to accommodate as many people in a small car in a very unique way. The end result is the India's first modular car. The operation to remove and fix third row seats is not that easy, but you won't be doing it on a daily basis. While the boot space is enormous without the third row, it's negligible with the additional row. Getting in and out of the third row is also easier than I anticipated, but the legroom is just enough for small distance travel, although kids and dogs would fit perfectly fine. The second row, however, is in a league of its own with both sliding and reclining seats. Both the second and third rows get their individual AC vents, though the position of the second row vents on the pillars is a bit odd. That being said, the practicality is the USP of Triber and credit goes to Renault for adding intricate details to enhance the space. You get dual glove box, an air-cooled box that can hold a small bottle or 2 cans of Coke, 2 mobile holders and other small little places. What we don't like in the cabin is the build quality, which could have been better, but considering the price you are paying, makes up to it. There are no steering mounted buttons and no display for the AC knobs. The Renault Triber only gets a petrol engine, which is a 3-cylinder BS6 steady 1 litre motor producing 72 PS of power and 96 Nm of torque. There is a 5-speed manual gearbox on offer. Now, to address the elephant in the room, the Triber feels severely under par to drive. We tested the car in Goa with 4 full-grown adults and the AC on. It was very hard to push the car through its paces and only in city did the car feel drivable enough. The steering is on a lighter side and like engine is tuned to have easy cruise in city landscape. Brakes are not confidence inducing, but the ride quality is good with comfortable seats and soft suspension. The NVH levels are decent to the best and any push to the acceleration might test your patience. Having said that, Triber was never projected as a driver's car, and to make it value for money, Renault had to compromise on the engine performance. But what they had not compromised is on safety, as the Triber gets 4 airbags, rear parking sensor and camera among others.
The Renault Triber offers loads of practicality, and with prices starting as low as Rs 5 lakhs, it's value for money too. Surely there are some grey areas like the build quality and the underpowered engine. But then Renault has put a lot of thought into the Triber.